Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, we're right here on YouTube Live. And of course, big shout out to Roses
Yay.
Unread, who are now our official theme song right here for the Happy Hour podcast each and every week. And of course, Tom Nutty is back this week. This is the first time he's been here since the HHPod Rumble. Dick Dangling from Dangling After Dark. What's up, man? You're joining us to collab with us tonight. And of course, our guest, Rachael Kane, is also here. Screamin Rachael. We're getting ready to rock and roll right here on YouTube Live. And Rachael, let's just dive right into it. So
Cool.
Queen of the House, do you own Trax Records so you did music yourself. So how was it going from doing music yourself to actually owning the production company?
Let me say this. I still do music myself. I'm the only woman in the United States who does what I do. And that is, I'm an artist, just in the way Jay-Z or Master P would be. But I also own my label, just as in Jay-Z and Master P would be. So that's unusual for a woman. But I'll tell you who inspired me was Sylvia Robinson from Sugar Hill.
Oh, okay.
So, the Sugar Hill Gang and all that. When I saw what she did, I thought like, hey, they brought me to New York to be the next Madonna, but hey, I'd rather just do my own company. And that's what I wanted to do.
Well, it's kind of funny because when you look at it and when you say what you're doing, you're doing your own stuff, you kind of look at it and you see today in Taylor Swift, that's kind of what she did. She kind of took like a grasp on her own stuff, and the label she was with was fucking her over, and now she's just kind of like, hey, I'm taking my own shit, fuck you, I'm gonna do it myself.
Taylor Swift straight up started a cult.
Yeah, she did. My wife is a part of that cult.
Now I like this show. We all can drink. It's
good. and Rachael, so you basically you're the queen of the house, which is house music. So what is, like, I'm not myself familiar with house music. What is house music exactly?
Okay, well, house music is the mother of EDM, dubstep, every kind of dance music that you can think of. And we have influenced people like David Guetta, Steve Aoki, all the biggies. And actually, and we were the first label to put the DJ's name on the record. So I think we started DJ culture as it's known today. I DJ too, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. I sing, I write, I DJ, I produce. It's a pretty interesting life. And like I said, people just are freaked out because I'm a woman doing this. It shouldn't be freaked out.
No, not at all. Like what is there to be freaked out about? Now you said you've done like movies too, and we were talking a little bit before Dick and Tom came in, and you were mentioning something that Ron Jeremy, he's done some of the movies with you. How did all that come together?
Well, it's kind of a funny thing, but there's Eric Rivas is the director, and Eric has a great ensemble cast. We've got people from the Warriors, we've got people from Scarface. We've got, it's pretty great. And then we got Ron Jeremy too. So we're always getting these like weirdos, including Screamin Rachael, and then the murderer who's now dead, unfortunately, but I still loved him anyway. Michael Alec, the real person behind Party Monster.
Yeah.
When he was let out of jail after dismembering our other friend, by the way.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus,
I know. If you have Party Monster, that was about our life.
Oh, Jesus.
I know. But anyway, when he got out of jail a couple of years ago, or a few years ago, he began doing parties again in New York, and I was there, and it was really odd because you think if somebody's in jail for a while, they're going to change, right? Because he was in jail for like 16 years.
Yeah.
And when him and I saw each other the first time, it was like nothing ever happened. It was like none of it was real.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because when you look at jail now is nothing compared to what jail used to be like 40, 50, 60 years ago. And Tom, because we did the one episode where we talked about Eastern State.
Yeah.
They had the one dog. They had an inmate dog. And we were like, could you imagine getting a shakedown from the dog? Like back then, like you went into prison and you were treated so badly in prison, you literally came out a changed person. Like now you just go into prison, you get 3 meals a day. You get
fucking Netflix.
Yeah. It's just
and it seems like they have a lot of drugs in prison, by the way.
You can literally watch the documentary about your crime in jail. It's ridiculous.
Crazy. I know. But anyway, that's the story. But Ron Jeremy, he's kind of fun. The good thing about Ron Jeremy is in all of our movies that he was in, he kept his clothes on. I didn't want to see that penis or that body.
Now, by any chance, I've heard rumors that Ron Jeremy used to always invite people to his house. Now, I'm not sure if he's ever invited you, but I also heard he was like kind of like a borderline hoarder. And I was like, I can see that. Like looking at Ron Jeremy, like I feel like he would be the kind of guy that would be like, all right, look, we're going to shoot this scene on my couch. Meanwhile, he has like 740 newspapers with a fish tank just in his living room laying around. And it's just like, dude, like, no, this isn't going to happen. Like,
well, that's why he's gone to jail, because he invited all these women apparently to his place and then violated them. So no, I've never gone to his place, but I agree with you 100%, Ray, that the thing with him is I can see him as a hoarder. I can see that.
I always imagined he smelled like piss and cigarettes.
Look at him. He's so greasy and yucky, and his whole image is like, ugh.
So Dick, have you ever met Ron Jeremy?
I met him a few times at conventions, and I actually bring it up in a recent episode of mine where it was 2010, and he was being a little bit not nice, being a little bit with a model. And really? At that point, that was only the second time I went to a convention. And even at that point, I was like, that's not good, because what he was doing was putting forth the example to the men that were there that this is appropriate behavior.
This is okay.
Right.
We can
and you know what? Who's that guy that got his dick cut off by that lady?
Oh, Bobbitt.
Remember him?
Yeah, John Wayne. Yeah, John Wayne Bobbitt.
Okay,
yeah.
So let me tell you about John Wayne Bobbitt. They have that porn convention that they have in Las Vegas.
AVN.
Yeah. So
that's what we were nominated for, right? Best Adult Podcast. And Dick, you were nominated for that too, weren't you?
Or correct.
Which is crazy. So I was there and I met John Wayne Bobbitt, and literally, well, I suppose because of what happened to him, he was afraid of me, and really, and the whole thing was like, there was this other TV show, Manhattan Lifestyles. They wanted me to interview him, and he was like, oh, I don't know about this. I'm sort of scared, you know what I mean? So it was weird, but I get it, because if you have your dick cut off, it might be like a little uncomfortable.
How come it is that John Wayne Bobbitt, like he has the name of like an assassin, like he killed a president, like they consider him by his full John Wayne Bobbitt, like he shot Lincoln or something. Like, it's like the dude had his dick cut off. Like,
people said he could have been the next Lincoln. That's what I've always heard.
How are Pennsylvania winners like John Wayne Bobbitt? At any point, you could look out the window, see a couple inches laying on the ground. Come on.
And Dick, back to Ron Jeremy. When you met Ron Jeremy, what was his musk like? Like when you got near him, what was the musk like coming off of? Was it like what Tom said, like piss and cigarettes? Like what was it like?
Do not ruin it for me.
He smelled of lavender and cinnamon. No, in those conventions, they are very warm because there are so many people there. So no one really smells good, but he was clearly under the influence. We'll put it that way, because the second time I met him, which was like 2014, 2012, I wanted to buy a t-shirt of his likeness and have him sign it.
Yeah.
And it was just clearly, I said, hi, my name's Dick. Would you mind signing this? And it was, and he just hands it to me. It was like, all right, thank you. And walked away. Like, wow.
The lights are on, but nobody's home.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. He's a weird dude, but he did his little parts in the movies, and he kept his clothes on, thank God, because he looked all greasy and fat and you know what I mean?
I think if you live that kind of lifestyle, there's no way to not be a weird dude.
Probably so. I mean, they used to have a thing in New York, because I used to live in New York for a long time, called Channel V, which was Channel 26. Okay. It came with everybody's standard cable package, And once it became 10:30, right, it would go into all this X-rated stuff. It was really, really wild. And the thing was, that channel became the E channel. But like in the afternoons and stuff, it'd be the E channel. And then at night, I'd be doing.
I wonder why they had Howard Stern on there. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
Because that's what happened. And the stuff that we did at night, because even though, like, I think I was the only person on this channel that didn't take off all of her clothes, but I felt sexy, like lingerie and everything like that. But, you know, I kind of was the only person, because you should have seen they had like 970p, the extra E is for extra P, crazy stuff. I mean, you know, these were like phone sex, call in, and, you know, people were addicted to that shit.
Oh, yeah.
And then
people are still addicted to that kind of stuff now. Like, I mean, that's the thing. And of course, Dick knows, because, you know, we have similar shows. We have, you know, a lot of similar guests. Like, sex sells. That's the way it is. And like I've said before, it doesn't matter whether you're gay, straight, trans, whatever. If you're an animal, it doesn't matter. You have sex. That's the way it works. It doesn't matter. So, you know, sex is always going to be a part of everyday life. So, you know, it breeds life in the stuff.
It's universal. Let's put it that way.
No matter what.
Definitely universal. And probably up in the cosmos, they're having sex.
Yeah.
If life exists in Mars, they're having sex.
In the hieroglyphics, they're having sex. People are fucking in hieroglyphics on the side of fucking pyramids and shit. Like,
that's fucking gross, dude.
Well, it's true. It's gross, but it's true.
I like to think of my Egyptians as just working.
Building those pyramids.
Yeah. And of course, last Sunday, of course, I'm still kind of dressed up. We went on at 8 earlier. It was a late Father's Day thing for my wife, her uncle. We're very close with that side of the family. But of course, last Sunday was Father's Day. So out of everybody in the room, I know I do, because my dad, he had PTSD, paranoid schizophrenia. He was in Vietnam War. So my dad did some crazy shit, and he also drank. Now, of course, any of your dads or stepdads, do you guys remember off the top of your head any insane stories? Like one insane story of something your dad did? And Rachel, we're going to start with you. Like, is there anything you could remember off the top of your head from your dad, stepdad, you know, whoever was a dad to you, that you can remember doing something completely insane to where you're like, what the fuck did he just do?
Well, this is probably going to freak out like my stepbrothers for me telling this story. But like, my dad was not happy with the career choice that I made, like wanting to be a singer and all that, and wanting to do clubs and concerts. And he said, you know, when I was young, we shot this female singer up with heroin, you know, and I was like, what the fuck? I mean, Dad, you did that? Because he was trying to tell me nobody was going to have respect for me because of this career path that I was going on. But nonetheless, I went on the career path. And at the end of the day, you know, my dad was good to me. He never did anything bad to me. But when I heard that thing about him shooting up this woman with heroin, it kind of like always stuck in my mind and changed my perspective.
Jesus Christ. Like, that's completely like, and when you first said shooting up a woman, I was just kind of like, oh shit. Like, I was like, he's in prison then too, because I thought you meant like shooting. And then you said with heroin, I was like, oh dear. Okay, so it's heroin. He wasn't like killing her. Like, well, he could have been killing.
But he could have killed her.
Well, was it medicinal or recreation?
I have no idea. All I know is Daddy Dearest told me as a warning that they had disrespected this woman who was a female vocalist because, you know, they didn't have much, I guess, love or like, you know, whatever. For these kind of women. They were fallen women in his mind, you know? I guess I'm a fallen woman.
Dick, what about you, man? You have any stories that of dad that you remember that were completely insane?
Nothing that I was privy to witness, but I can give you two quick stories. So 30-second background. My father, also a military man, 20 years in the Army, maybe a little bit more. And he was in Vietnam as well. He died 2 days short of his 45th birthday.
Oh, shit.
I was 12. And it was a drinker as well. A lot of people that came back from that were, but a quick drinking story. Family had a camp that they would hunt and fish at. My father went out to use the woods as a restroom. He doesn't come back for a very long time. An uncle goes out to look for him, can't find him, decide that they're going to get in a vehicle to drive to find him, and put the car in reverse and proceed to run him over. He passed out, and they didn't see him because out in the woods there's no light, so they ran him over. He ended up being completely fine, but that was a fun little story. But in the military, my father was a gunner and a marksman. And he also trained state troopers and stuff like that if he was stationed in different states. And while he was stationed in Texas, he was teaching them. And what he began to do with these state troopers is if there was a pursuit, they would kind of funnel the criminal in their vehicle to a T intersection. It was a blind intersection because they know they could never make the turn. So they would line up officers and my father on either side of the intersection and just watch them careen into the cement wall at the end of the road at the T intersection and just laugh because that's what you did at that time.
Well, that's perfect because, you know, here in Chicago, I don't know how familiar you are with Chicago politics. Because all I can say is our mayor tells the police, stand down. I don't care if people are fucking getting killed. The idea in Chicago is stand down, do not chase. It's crazy. It's like
it sounds like Baltimore when we had the riots and they were being hit by rocks, and our mayor was like, "Oh, don't do anything, just get pummeled with rocks."
That is screwed up.
Yeah. You remember when they had the curfew during the riots and it was like everybody's in by 9 and nobody gave a shit, and they were just like they just kept moving it back. They were like, all right, now the new curfew's 10 and we're not kidding this time.
You know what, now it's 1 a.m.
Right, and the people that are still out are on double secret probation.
Yep.
You know what I was glad about is that, like, I got a place in Chicago and that's where I'm broadcasting from now. But when I went to Nashville and it was during the pandemic, man, they were wide open. You didn't need a vax card. You didn't need shit. You didn't need a mask. So it was like kind of freedom, you know, and it was so bad in Chicago and so bad in New York, which are really my two cities that I've lived in the most and done the most things. But I'm telling you, Nashville, it was wide open. They have a whole different attitude over there. They just don't give a fuck.
Yeah. And so Tom,
So being in Chicago, are you a fan of Malort's? It's an alcohol that tastes like a burning diaper in a dumpster. It is the worst alcohol on the planet. And apparently in Chicago, it's a rite of passage.
Well, hell no to that.
Oh, it's brutal.
I like my Deep Eddy lime. That's when I like.
Very nice.
I love your description of that, by the way. Like I used to say that absinthe like tastes the way aftershave smells.
Right.
That's how I feel like it tastes.
Absinthe, what's it called?
Absinthe.
Yeah, I know about that because I used to live in New Orleans for a while. And the ferry, the absinthe ferry.
And Tom, what about you? Insane dad stories. You got any?
Oh yeah, like we'll go back. I think it was 2002. Like I was 13, almost 14 at the time. And then he had to go somewhere for something. I forget what the whole backstory was, but anyway, he had to leave and he never came back.
Oh, well, he didn't die.
No, I haven't seen that motherfucker in 20 years. So
Jesus Christ. I have two quick ones myself. I'm sorry to hear about that, Tom. I did not know that. Thanks for making me look like a bastard, you son of a.
It's all good.
I didn't want to cry on this episode.
Like he was never right after 9/11.
Okay.
Oh man, like my dad, of course, in the military, he would drink himself into a different dimension. So there was one time, you guys ever have those people that come to your door and they knock on your door and they randomly try to sell you electric that you know isn't really electric, but they're still like trying. So they would come to his door all the time. So I got a call and I was at work one day and it was from the cops and they're like, yeah, you need to come over here. And I'm like, all right. He lived in the same apartment complex me and my wife did at that time. And so I drive over to his apartment. I go there and the police are there and like the guy looks all disheveled. And apparently what happened is my dad had a BB gun that looked just like a Glock 9mm. And the guy knocked on his door. And my dad threw the door open with that BB gun in his hand. He puts it up to the guy's face. And he's like, you motherfuckers, I'm getting tired of you knocking on my goddamn motherfucking door. Get the fuck out of here. I'm going to blow your fucking brains out. And apparently the guy ran outside and called the police. And the police come to my dad's apartment with guns drawn because he thinks my dad has a Glock 9mm. And my dad's just like, look, it's a BB gun. And he shoots a BB into the wall. He stuck it to the fucking cop. And I'm like,
I don't blame your dad. Although, getting that drunk and upset, I get that because I've had alcoholics in my family, and what not? But hey,
and there was another time we lived in a townhouse. This is when I first met my wife. We had a thing of concrete out back that was uneven, like it was all fucked up, all broken up. And he kept on telling the leasing office, "You got to fix the fucking goddamn sidewalk out back. You got." And I told him, I was like, "Dude, it's not that bad. Like, who gives a shit?" So he took it upon himself to hire a concrete company to come out and pour new concrete out back. And he's like, they don't want to fix it. I'll fix it my fucking self. And at the time he's retired, he's collecting Social Security disability, he's collecting disability from, so he has all this money. So lo and behold, that was our last month living in that townhouse because they were just kind of like, bro, we appreciate it, but you're not supposed to do that. He's like, good sons of bitches. I told you it was fucking broken. It was literally like a couple little cracks.
So now it's your father memorial patio.
Exactly, it is.
Yeah.
Where's your father now? Is he still alive?
Into it.
Is he still alive, your dad, or no?
No, my dad, he passed away in 2016. He passed a month after me and my wife's wedding. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, he passed in 2016. It got to the point to where he drank so much, like his organs basically started to just break down and like all that shit. And we told him for a year, dude, you got to stop drinking. You're going to give yourself a couple more years if you do. And I mean, you know how that battle is. If you have anybody that's ever struggled with any kind of addiction like that, that's just, what happens. That's how I know how to turn it off. Like I mainly really only drink for this show now, and that's it. But growing up, seeing my dad do that, I got really bad when I was younger, partying Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday also. But, that eventually, once I met my wife and kind of toned down a little bit, I was able to turn it off. But what we're going to do, we do fun news articles.
That would change you. I mean, for sure. Like my husband's dad was an alcoholic.
Oh, yeah.
And so growing up under that, it changed him.
Yeah.
He definitely now, much to my dismay, never drinks alcohol. And I think a little alcohol is okay if you can control it.
Oh, yeah. If you can control it. Yeah. So now that we're on this situation of talking about people who drink, we're going to get into one of our news stories. We do news stories here too. And the first one is this happened in Springfield, Colorado. It says a DUI suspect in Colorado reportedly tried to switch seats with his dog when he was pulled over by the police.
That's a good move. It's a good
move.
It appears a man suspected of a DUI in Colorado was trying to get out of the charges by putting his dog behind the wheel of the car he was driving. The Springfield Police Department shared details for the odd incident on their Facebook page. According to police, the suspect was pulled over in the Springfield area on the south side of Colorado about 11:30 p.m. Saturday night. The driver was reportedly driving 52 in a 30-mile-per-hour zone. The driver attempted to switch places with his dog, who was in the passenger seat, as SPD officer approached and watched the entire process. It says the male party then exited the passenger side vehicle and claimed that he was not driving. The male party showed clear signs of intoxication, and when asked about alcohol consumption, the male party ran from the officer. He was then apprehended quickly about 20 yards from the vehicle. So just imagine that. Like, you're a cop and you walk up and you see homeboy just switch places with, and what kind of dog is, like, I wish they would have said what kind of dog it was. Like, is this like a Shih Tzu? Is this like a German Shepherd? Like,
Is
could
it
you
like a Yorkie? What?
yeah, like I can kind of buy maybe a German Shepherd is tall enough to where his paws can reach the pedals with his other paws on. Like Tom has two big dogs. Like Tom has bigger. I could see a dog that size easily driving a vehicle if he needs to, but a fucking Shih Tzu, it's not going to work. Like,
No.
like.
But the problem is the dog didn't have a license. And it failed the field sobriety test because it missed the frisbee. It went to jail as well. It's really a shame.
Yeah, like, imagine that. Like, imagine if the cop, like, imagine this is a rookie. This is a cadet cop. And like this cop watches this happen, but like he still can't believe what he's seen. Like at that point, like, do you interrogate the dog? Like, do you like walk up to the car and the dog like rolls the window down and he's like, "Arr, arr." Like when like the cop comes up and the cop just shines his light in the dog's face and he's like, "Excuse me, sir, have you had anything to drink tonight?" And the dog's just sitting there like,
yeah, he's got his arm on the window trying to play it cool.
Yeah. A dog's just smoking a cigarette. There's a dead hooker in the trunk, and the dog's just kind of like, "I don't know about any of this."
Well, if it's a dog
Or
driving,
blunt.
then it's a dead cat rolled up in a carpet in the back.
Yeah. They find a whole bunch of assault weapons.
Right.
It's like, wait, what is that? At that point, it's just kind of like, what's going on here? And the whole time the guy's like, "I swear to God, that's all the dogs." And come to find out, like, in actually, this guy gets locked up for all this shit. But in actuality, it was really just the fucking dog. And the dog's just like, "Peace, bitch. I'm going to go find a new family."
Yeah, assault weapons and milk bones. That's all it
Yeah.
was.
Look, I'll be honest. If I was the cop that rolled up and saw all that, I would have handled it totally different. Like I'd have let that guy believe that I believed. Like for 5 minutes, I would have been like, "How did you learn how to drive? This is amazing." And let that drunk guy think he really got away with one.
Yeah,
know?
like where did you
That
send
would've
your
been
dog
fun.
for training? I need to train my canine how to do this. Like
Dog whisperer.
the dog's the DUI whisperer. That's what it was.
Right.
Like,
On the back window, it just says "puppy driver," like the student driver fucking stickers you see.
like how does that work though? Because they say that they watch the whole process of him switching spots with the dog. So if it's a big dog, like, do you see like the dog, like you see him like, "Come here, and like he like calls him over into the seat, the dog switches, or like it's a small dog, you see him pick up the dog and he puts it there and he's looking behind him, and then he goes over, puts his seatbelt back on. I mean, just knowing the fact that he ran, like he knew it was over. Like at the point when the cop, like he told the cop that the dog was driving, like he knew at some point in his mind, he's like, he's never going to believe this. I'm just going to run.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
like
I would
that bean footage.
Yeah.
Like that commercial with the dog who knows about the bean footage.
Rolls
You know
down
what I'm saying?
roll
Roll
that
that
beautiful bean
bean
footage.
So that's why I say I would have just acted like I believed the whole thing. That guy would have been on the side of the road telling me his life story. And he'd
Yeah,
been-
that'd have been brutal. I'm with you on that.
And what I'm going to do, of course, we're live on Facebook or YouTube live. I'm sorry, we're banned from Facebook for doing lives because
Hell
they don't
yeah.
like our content. But we're not banned from Facebook, so make sure you follow us on Facebook. But Jason Rushman over in the YouTube thread was asking me what I was drinking tonight. And of course, we're going to get into our featured beer, which continues on from last week, which is Imperial. So we are drinking Imperial, which is imported from Costa Rica. So shout out Imperial. And Rachel, what are you drinking? I know you went and got some stuff before we started up. What do you
Just
got?
like strawberry vodka mixed with this Tropicana.
Oh,
So
nice.
The
nice.
vodka's strong though, and I put a lot of vodka in it.
Have you ever tried the Tropicana Zero Sugar? It's actually really, really good.
I need to try that because all the sugar is going to get me hyped.
I
I'll have
just-
trouble sleeping.
Yeah. I just lost like over 50 pounds. I've been doing like zero sugar everything.
That's
And
fantastic.
Tropicana Zero Sugar is super good. We have something called a creamy, and basically it makes ice cream, it makes like slushies, it makes all kinds of shit like that, Italian ice. So that's good to take like stuff like the zero sugar, like Tropicana. You can make like fruit ice cream out of it, or like I do like slushies and shit like that. And like then that way I don't have to eat like regular ice cream, even though I did eat like 2 Snickers ice creams before we started because I was like, fuck
You
it.
know,
We went
I
to
need to
Olive
give
Tree
that to my
today, so I
husband.
don't care.
I need to give that to my husband because I swear he's going to die. He looks like he stepped out of The Sopranos. He looks like Big Pussy, Big Pussy, because he's a big fucking guy, and it's like crazy. But anyway, he does need to lose weight, or he won't be around long. Yeah. So I'm trying to encourage.
Well,
So I'll follow your lead.
That's the thing. Like I tell people all the time, I was like, people were like, "Oh man, like how'd you do it? How'd you do it?" I was like, I paid attention to what I was eating. I kept track of everything I ate, and I made better decisions, and I exercised more. Like that's. I was freaking out last week because I gained 3 pounds back. I mean, I've lost it since then, but I was just like, God damn it, I did all this work. I gained 3 pounds back, and my wife's like, "But you're still down like 51 pounds." Like,
fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm like, but I'm up 3.
Well, you got to be vigilant. I'll say that, right?
Yeah.
Right, Rick? You got to be vigilant.
Exactly. And while I'm on the featured beer, I'm going to get into our featured shot, which is starting to wear down. So we're going to have a new shot shortly. And of course, our featured shot is just very, very simple. It is the one and only Fireball. So shout out to Fireball. In case nobody's ever put the demon in their belly, make sure you go out, pick up and put the demon in your belly. And then
oh my God, that stuff is dangerous.
We're gonna get into games after that. So here we go. Cheers, everybody. And,
cheers. That stuff is dangerous.
Oh, it is. I've had some long nights with Fireball. What do you got, Dick? What are you drinking on?
First off, I didn't start drinking till I was 40.
What a nerd.
What a nerd. I've begun to drink because I enjoy the flavor. I don't drink to get destroyed. So I know, like yourself, I know my cutoff, but my go-to if I'm just sipping and relaxing, Crown, Apple, this stuff is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And a little thing that people can try out there. And same thing with Fireball. If you know rum chata.
Oh, yes. It tastes like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the way the milk is after it sits.
Yeah, you do 1 shot of rum chata, 1 shot of Fireball, shake it over ice. It is fantastic. Same thing with Regal Apple. You do 1-to-1 of rum chata and Regal Apple. Tastes just like Apple Jacks milk. I got destroyed in Vegas on that.
And speaking of Crown, like my wife is a Crown girl. Like she loves Crown. She loves Crown vanilla. She does Crown vanilla and Coke.
100%.
That is fucking, she loves that. She lives by that. And like, that's like, it's weird because my wife's not a beer drinker. She never has. She hates the taste of beer. Just like me, I hate the taste of coffee. Like we're the same way. Like she'll be like, try this. This doesn't taste like coffee. And I'll drink it. I'll be like, it's coffee, and hand it back. And that's the way she is with beer. But like, yeah, like, dude, Crown, I think Crown has what? They have apple now. They got
everything.
They have vanilla. Like,
Peach is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, that's right.
Pretty like hard hit.
Yeah.
What is it like? It's not 100 proof, but it's pretty high up there.
Yeah, but most of it is. I can tell you actually. Let me look up my old man glasses.
80 proof.
70 proof is the apple.
Oh wow! Like my brother-in-law, he had just got back from Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and they went to a few breweries up there. And he said they went to a place. I think it might have been moonshine or something like that, but they were giving them shots that were 124 proof shots. Like they weren't big shots; they were like little shots like this. But he said that's how strong they were. And then my aunt and uncle were in Nashville, and he went to the Jack Daniels warehouse. And he said, that's amazing because Jack Daniels, like, I didn't realize that they had so many different, blends. Like one bottle of Jack Daniels, he said, is out of different barrels. Right. So you also have single barrel, which is more expensive. And I was like, that's what that means. Because when you go to the liquor store, you see ones that say single barrel and they're stronger because they're out of that one single barrel instead of a bunch, mixed up, which is completely awesome. Like imagine
that moonshine. That'll really do you in.
Oh, especially what brand? Oh shit! What the hell brand is it that sits there and like they like have like peaches in it and all that shit?
Old
that's
Smoky.
A cool brand.
Oh, yeah, Old Smoky. I forgot about Old Smoky. And like you sit there and like you could eat the fruit afterwards, and you're just kind of like, yep. Now it's time to pass out of my cold basement. Like that.
I got a funny story about eating the fruit out of moonshine, right? And it's not like Old Smoky. It was like homemade moonshine.
Jesus!
Yeah.
So it was ethanol, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't even know what it was, but there was big chunks of watermelon in it, right? And it was delicious. But after we finished the jar, we were like, we're going to keep the party going. So we decided to start eating the watermelon, and like it was just full of moonshine, right? And like within probably 10 hours of just getting annihilated, me and my buddy both broke out in hives. Like we had this fucking horrible reaction to eating this fruit that was just full of grain liquor.
So you ended up like the people in cabin fever after eating.
Yes.
Well, you know, my last trip to New York was like that. I was in New York during that time where the whole sky was like orange.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a meeting with one of my friends, and he's like, well, let's walk, because he was a New Yorker. So, okay, I walked from my place at 42nd Street to the plaza. And I'm telling you, by the time I got back, I was so sick. By the time I got to my filming, I was 2 hours late. By the time I got to the party, I was falling into people. By the time I got back to my hotel, I was red, and my whole body. It was like crazy. Red and blotchy. Whole body.
So when do you know your limit of when you got to stop? Because mine is, if I am sitting down and I stand up and I turn my head and it takes a while for the world to catch up, then I know I need to stop. What is your sign like, okay, I need to put the brakes on this?
So you're saying when you're fucked up, it's time to stop being fucked up.
Correct. Like, but you're still aware.
If I could take the lead on this,
please.
Way back in the day, I didn't have that. I drank until my body stopped functioning. And like now it's kind of like, for example, I've had 2 beers and a shot, and like I kind of feel it a little bit now, but before I would throw up and go back to drinking. Like my friends were the type of friends that if we had a party, like we would pass out of this place and he would kick you at like 9 in the morning and go, you ready to start drinking again? And if you said no, he'd make you go home. He'd be like, well, get out of my house. So so that's the kind of like parties that we would have. And the more recent one is when I knew I had too much to drink. And Tom, you might have heard this on the show before. I bring this up a half dozen times. When I was on my bachelor party and we were at a strip club and somebody bought me a lap dance. But before we went out for my bachelor party, we had a cookout. So I ate all these hot dogs, all these hamburgers, all this chicken, all kinds of shit. So this girl's giving me a lap dance at my bachelor party. And she, like, I feel everything coming. Like, I feel it coming, like, all the way up. And I feel it get to here. And I'm panicking because I'm like, I'm going to throw up on the stripper. And this is when I know I've had too much to drink. So she's sitting there and she's not, and she gets done. Thankfully, it waits until she's like, was that good for you? And I basically push her off me and I run in the bathroom. And if you've ever seen Team America World Police, that style vomit of hot dog and hamburger fragment.
Oh, God.
All over
she
the
was
bathroom.
Lucky that you actually pushed her off.
Oh, yeah.
Arguably the most patriotic 2 things to throw up. So thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Like it was almost like when you watch Ghostbusters 2 and Ray got hit with the blast cannon. Like that's what it would have been like if she wouldn't have got out of Dodge when she did. So what I'm going to do real quick, we're going to take a small little break. We're going to get a word from some of our friends. So we'll be back in about like 3 minutes or so here on YouTube Live. And when we come back, we're going to get into our game segment. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break in case anybody needs to hop up, use the bathroom, grab something to drink. And we'll be right back here on the Happy Hour podcast in 1 minute. All right.
Hey guys, it's Callie Roses and you're watching Happy Hour podcast.
Derek Sharp, the owner of Curtain Jerker Designs, who does an amazing job. I'm blown away every single time, and his speed that he has getting everything back to us is immaculate.
Hit up Derek with Curtain Jerker Design.
Look no further than Curtain Jerker Designs. Make sure you hit up Derek.
Derek Sharp, man. Hey, just want to say thank you for the posters, all the hard work you put into, man. We really appreciate you, man.
A shout out to Derek Sharp from Curtain Jerker Designs. Yo, dude. Just want to say, this poster, off the hook.
Hey, what's up, players? This is Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and I want to give a big shout out to my man Derek over there with Curtain Jerkers Designs.
If you are looking for the best graphics, the best designs, look up Curtain Jerker. I do.
Curtain Jerker Designs. That's who I use for any of my graphic designs, and you should too.
Thanks, Curtain Jerker Designs.
Big old shout out.
Hello, my name is Bubba Almany. I am a bodyguard who has been in the security industry for over a decade. My team and I offer a variety of security services that cover all aspects of security operations. We have secured some of the highest profile clients and largest events in the world. Should your situation require armed protection, we have the ability to carry in all 50 states and U.S. territories. Not only do we have the latest security equipment, we also have world-class training. We look forward to assisting all of your security needs by bringing you the finest and most dedicated security personnel available. From the Office of the President of the United States to local county and state dignitaries, my tactical dignitary protection officers are the tip of the spear in this extremely competitive industry. Let my highly trained staff protect the asset today. We can be contacted via the email and number below. Thank you.
White peace.
White peace on the beat.
White peace.
Let's go. Let's go. Ready? Ready? I told you.
You think we're the same, but we're different. You think we relate, but we didn't. I'm staying on the grind, working my lane. I'm staying with the shirt, hurting these lanes. You didn't want to listen, but I told you. You didn't want to get it, but I told you. I told you, 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 I told you. Let me hit this beat harder than a motherfucker. Suck ass players on that child shit, mugger. Staying ducked off like screws getting paid. All about the money, y'all go get laid. Grinding overtime, me, I'm trying to get paid. Hear these words, they straight from the page. Hear my pain, it's straight full of rage. Know my name. You think we're the same, but we're different. You think we relate, but we didn't. I'm staying on the grind, working my lane. I'm staying with the shirt, hurting these lanes. You didn't want to listen, but I told you. You didn't want to get it, but I told you.
Hi guys, this is Tati, Alex, and
Renee.
and you're watching Happy Hour Podcast. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Happy Hour Podcast. Of course, we're here on YouTube Live. And Tom, you remember, we got to get Tati and Alexander back. Alexander, by far, was probably one of the scariest human beings I've ever met in my entire life. And we were like, we don't want to piss him off because he was a part of, like, what was it? The Ukrainian army or like fucking some shit like that?
The Navy.
Yeah.
You know, she still messages me about once a month just to see how I'm doing.
No, it's she is so
such
awesome.
A nice
Shout
person.
out, to all of them. So what we're going to do, we're going to get into our game segment. So Tom, we have a new game. You haven't played this yet. It's called Super Fight. So pretty much what Super Fight is Super Fight has a person card, a thing card, and a weapon card. So what we're going to do is we're each going to choose one of those cards. So I have two decks in front of me. So it's going to be teams. So Rachel, out of everybody in this room, who do you want to be partnered with?
I'll be partnered with you.
All right, so you'll be my
Ray.
Dick and Tom are going to be partners. So
can we go with our last names with Nutty and Dangle instead?
Yeah. Nutty and Dangle. Nutty and Dangle versus Rachel and Ray. Rachel Ray versus Nutty Dangle.
Perfect.
It'll be our spin-off shows.
Yeah. So since Rachel got to choose, do you guys want number 1 or number 2 for the deck cards?
Oh, I'm a fan of number 2.
Number 2. All right. So number 2. So, all right. So you guys cards are going to be first. And what I'm going to do is anybody in the live feed, there's supposed to be a referee for this. So I believe Jason is still in the feed. So what's going to happen is hopefully we can get some people to interact. I want to try to get this game as more of an interactive game, as they're going to choose, as we argue out who we think is going to be the winner. They're going to be the referee and choose who the winner is. So you guys, Nutty Dangle has... So basically, one of you guys have to decide. The card says pick a comic book character. So you guys amongst yourselves have to pick a comic book character to be your person.
Oh God. Like, is just any comic book character?
Any comic book character you want.
Can it be like a comic strip character? Like if we wanted Prince Valiant?
Yeah.
You leave my haircut from the 80s out of it.
What do you think? Comic book character.
Who's the big blue guy with his dong hanging out from that movie? Oh my goodness, I can't remember.
What the hell is his name?
The Tick.
Oh, okay. So we're going the Tick. That's not it. But we're
All right.
going
So
Tick.
basically, you guys have the Tick on a Segway piloting an attack drone.
Oh, fuck
So it's the Tick on a Segway piloting an attack drone. So mine
Doesn't
and
get more
Rachel's,
American than that.
you guys are fighting Abraham Lincoln armed with a ray of sadness riding a battle cat.
Yeah,
So
that's
now-
exactly how the South saw him.
Yeah. So now we need to argue out why we think our side is going to win. So you guys have the Tick on a Segway piloting an attack drone, and we have Abraham Lincoln armed with a ray of sadness and riding a battle cat.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. We have like electricity already. You know what I mean?
I mean, we have Abraham Lincoln, though. I mean, he was a
but what did he ever
vampire
do
hunter
for
in a
us?
movie, right?
And we've got Doja Cat. Remember Doja Cat in that new commercial where she's kicking everybody's ass?
Yeah. And also, he's armed with a ray of sadness. Like, how can the Tick win?
So the
when
fuck
he's
am I,
being
Ray?
blasted
Doesn't
with a
matter.
ray of sadness.
Obviously, Abraham Lincoln could not stop a speeding bullet. So he automatically loses right there.
He was killed by John Wayne Bobbitt with his flying dick
Look,
because he had an assassin.
Our drone's name is the SS Wilkes Booth. What is he going to do about this?
The SS Ford Theater.
But see, that's the thing though. Like a sadness rate, like the battle cat can basically peel off the tick, like the way you peel ticks off. Or whatever.
I don't know if I've ever seen a cat pull its own tick off. You know what
What
I mean?
about Doja Cat? She just stops you with her sexuality, you know? She shows her tits and that's it.
Look, we have an actual superhero. We have a Segway, which I'm not sure what we're doing with that yet. And we have the best named drone in the history of drones. So.
Well, I guess he's probably trying to pilot the attack drone while he's on a Segway, but he's not holding on to the Segway. So that allows Abraham Lincoln, using his vampire killer stuff, by the way, from that movie that they did when he killed vampires, to easily take out the tick.
But if the Segway is using lithium ion batteries and manages to catch fire, so now we're adding another element. It's toxic.
Yeah.
He's going to die.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you, right? The only two things Lincoln ever fought was slavery and vampires. Neither one had fucking electricity, Ray.
That's true. So what we're going to turn it over to the stream. So Jason is the most active person on this tonight. So Jason, if you're still there, buddy, give us who you think is the winner of this fight. Do you think that it's the Tick on a Segway piloting an attack drone from the arguments that we had, or do you think that it's Abraham Lincoln armed with a sadness ray riding a battle cat? So when you get a chance, anybody there, let us know, and then we'll all right. So Jason said, I've never seen the Abraham Lincoln movie, but it looks funny. So Jason, when you get a chance, let us know who you think the winner is from this battle. And we're going to get into our next game real quick, and I'll come back to the thread in a second to find out who has won that fight. So
right, Jason. So I'm promising you some favors. So Jason,
if I may, Jason, first off, this is not a bribe, but if you are interested in some autographed hockey pucks, of like people in the horror genre, in the movie genre, I'm more than happy to send them to you. It's not a bribe.
Wait, you have autographed hockey pucks,
if I may.
Harb.
I like that. I like hockey. But still, Doja Cat is the hottest. So Abraham Lincoln and Doja Cat.
What's their reaction when you have them sign hockey pucks?
They love it.
Yeah, nice.
Because it's so unique. There are people that like some hockey pucks I've kept because I know it's the only hockey puck they've ever signed.
Yeah.
But some pucks, I have a studio filled with music and porn, so I need to lighten the load. So two J. Let's see what I got here. I can give you a hockey puck signed by D. Wallace Stone, who was the mother in Cujo.
Oh, hey, shout out D. Wallace. We've had her on this show.
We got Ashley Lawrence and Doug Bradley from Hellraiser.
Doug Bradley also was on the show. We did not damage him. We talked about the character Deep Throat almost the entire episode.
Oh, cool. And the last one, once again, not a bribe. The late great Sid Haig from House of a Thousand Corpses and so many other things.
I think Ray should just forfeit this and get the hockey puck for himself because he would really appreciate it.
Oh, we're gonna.
I think since I screwed Sid Vicious, we should win.
Hey, that is less rare than the hockey puck.
We're gonna give the feed a chance to process that. We're gonna see if we can develop an answer. If not, we'll come back to this. So the next game is extreme personal questions. So Rachel, what we're gonna do is question A and question B. So you're going to choose either question A or question B, and then you're going to choose anybody in this room to answer the other question. So Rachel, what do you want? Do you want question A or question B?
Let's see, question B, and I think Diggler, is that
okay, so Dick Dangle is going to be question A.
Dick
so
Dangle.
Rachel, you're going to get B first. So who or what acts are on your sexual bucket list?
Oh boy.
My sexual bucket list.
No, this one's for Rachel.
Oh, for Rachel. Oh,
yeah.
God.
Rachel gets the first one. Yeah.
What an actual X is on my sexual bucket list?
Yeah. Who or what acts are on your sexual bucket list?
So you said X or X?
Acts, like acts,
ACTS.
like things that you would do.
Leaving me out of this.
Let's see. Who was the guy that starred in A Bronx Tale? Let's see. We did Lilo Brancato.
Okay.
Who played Robert De Niro's son, and actually I've done movies with him. And he sent me a dick pic. So I'll choose him.
Fair enough. So Dick, here is your question. So you get question A.
Okay.
Where on your body have you been bitten?
Oof.
By human or otherwise?
It does not specify. So
when I was about 9, I got 30 bee stings or hornet stings on my legs because I ran past the nest that I didn't see. I got bit by a Doberman Pinscher on my face. That's it clamped down on my nose and under my jaw. And I've been bitten by a number of women who thought I might like it, and I didn't.
You gotta watch out for the teeth, that's for sure.
Don't mind the suckers, not a fan of the biters.
Exactly.
And Jason commented, it's such a hard decision with this battle. I just don't know who to choose. And I was like, just let us know. Hold on. Just let us know when you know. Let us know.
Gotta feel it
when
in your heart.
Like it's gotta come to you. It's either Abraham Lincoln or the tip.
Mail us a fucking postcard. We'll get the answer fast.
We're talking Lincoln. We have to go Pony Express.
Yeah, or carrier pigeon. I like carrier pigeon as well. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna get into never have I ever. So never have I ever. It's 3 random cards drawn out of the box. I'm gonna read off the card. If you've done it, raise your hand or take a drink. If you want to give an explanation, you can. If not, I'm not going to hate you for it. So, the first card is never have I ever binged on Netflix without leaving the house for more than 4 days.
Holy shit, 4 days?
I don't even have Netflix.
Yeah.
Do I raise my hand?
I might have done that. I might have done that during COVID. I think I have ever.
All right. So here's another one. Never have I ever been caught picking a wedgie in public.
Oh, Christ. Really?
Yeah.
Come on. Who hasn't been caught picking a wedge?
Yeah, I pick a wedgie just because I want to, because I don't give a fuck.
I was about to say, who cares about getting caught picking a wedgie?
No,
It's when you get caught picking somebody else's wedgie, it becomes a problem.
Yeah. And here's the last one. Never have I ever been too drunk to stay awake during sex. I've never been that drunk. Like, I think literally, like, when sex comes up, it's just kind of like my dick is instant sober. Like, as soon as my dick gets hard, it's like sober. It's just kind of like, okay, something else turns on because drunk turns off.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's
well,
called,
I guess
that's
with
called
women, we could just kind of like lay there and face out and all that kind of stuff.
Not without signing a form first.
Well, yeah, that's true. You got to be careful of that.
All right. So what we're gonna do, this game is, of course, Dick, you're gonna be able to help Rachel out with this. Tom Nutty knows this game extremely well. This is one of the games that is the face of this show. Of course, it is also a part of our yearly HHPod Rumble. Shout out to Jupiter Jetson, who won this year. We are currently in the process of having a custom championship belt by the guy who made that very championship belt, which is a replica of a heavyweight title that I have, that will be sending her a title for winning the HHPod Rumble. This game is incoherent. So the way incoherent works, I'm going to show a series of cards on the screen that are in complete drunken lingo.
Ooh.
Sound them out, figure out what they say, and there are hints on the back, and Tom will probably know each and every one of these cards.
I think when Jupiter gets her belt in the mail, I'm gonna fucking steal it like the way she stole that game right out from under me.
Oh,
we call it the robbery of 2023. You'll hear about it on Netflix one day.
All right, so here we go. Here's the first card. Rachel and Dick, what do you think this card says?
Got it.
Uh-oh.
I got it.
I can't see it. It says cannabis.
Sounds like you can see it.
Cannabis.
My guess is cannabis.
It is cannabis. One of the hints is
I like cannabis.
like MJ and the scientific name for marijuana plant that no one uses in conversation.
Right.
So, what's that one?
I got it first. Nah.
Here's the next one. So what do you think that says?
Got it.
And if you guys need a hint, just let me know.
You send me the hockey puck, I'll answer all the questions for you.
What do you think, Rachel?
Receding airline?
One of the hints is a growing forehead.
Receding hairline.
It is receding
hairline.
A fire, if you will.
Nick, you're pretty good at this. We might have to have you back next year for the HHPod Rumble so you can screw Tom Nutty over.
No shit.
All right. So what do you think this one says?
Furry dude a chipping. What's our clue?
One of the hints is prime target. Prime and target. And raising the bar on first world problems. Which really doesn't give you any hint of what this actually is.
Yeah, like don't get me this drunk and then expect me to answer these questions. Furry dude ate chipping.
What did you say? So I think did you say what the last word was, or were you still trying to sound it out?
Chipping.
Normally you get this through Amazon when you order something.
Oh, I got
shipping.
it.
The last word is shipping, but what is the first part? So chipping is shipping.
Right.
Furry dude. Furry dude. I don't know, but I've been with a lot of furry dudes. They say I like bears.
Free 2-day shipping. Is it free 2-day shipping? I'm taking
free 2-day shipping.
Come on.
Hey, you're good.
Yeah, there you go, man. And yeah, we will definitely have Dick Dangle back for the HHPod Rumble. Dick, we'll probably have you back.
Dangle, I can't take it.
Often because I always need, guest hosts, here and there. But yeah, definitely you want to come back, man. I think next year, Tom, I think what it was is the hot tag kind of got abused. Like people use that as a save. It shouldn't be a save. So next year, the hot tag is going to be if they hot tag somebody and they get it wrong, they're eliminated. So that's the way the hot tag is going to be. And we're only going to do 30 seconds and 15 seconds. Like that's the way we did it at the Rumble. And if you answer it, then, boom. So of course, this segment is called Oh, the Humanity. So we end this segment with Cards Against Humanity. Dick, have you played Cards Against Humanity?
I have, yes.
Okay. Rachel, what about you? Have you ever played Cards Against Humanity?
No, I don't even know what that is.
You're in for a treat. It's a very vulgar game. Normally what happens is there's a blackface card and then you get a handful of other cards, the best answer to card. Now, obviously we can't do that here with everybody here. So we do Cards Against Humanity roulette. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read off the blackface card and then Rachel, you're going to draw a number and Dick's going to draw a number randomly.
Okay.
And whatever you get as that card is going to be your answer. If you don't like it, you get 2 rebuttals.
Okay.
To choose a better card. So the first card is going to be coming to Broadway this season, blank the musical. So Rachel, lucky number 1 through 6. What do you think?
4.
4. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So what about you, Dick?
1.
1. All right. So 1. So Rachel's card is coming to Broadway this season, helplessly giggling at the mention of Hudus and Tussus, the musical. And then Dick's card is coming to Broadway this season, The Black Power Ranger, the musical. So are you guys good with your answers or do you want to use rebuttals and choose a different
I think I want to use rebuttals. Mine sounds kind of stupid.
All right. What about you, Dick? Do you want a rebuttal as well?
Oh, I'm sticking with mine.
You're going to stick with yours. All right. So Rachel, so a number 1 through 4.
3.
3. All right. So coming to Broadway this season, Nipples the Size of CDs, the musical.
Whoa, that sounds too real to me. I want another rebuttal.
You want another rebuttal? All right. So
she felt seen on that one.
Yeah. 1 through 3. 1 through 3. What do you think?
2.
2. All right. So 2. So this is the card you're going to have to stick with since you've used your 2 rebuttals. Coming to Broadway this season, cutting off a flamingo's legs with garden shears, the musical.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit. Especially since I'm a vegan.
So now the other 2 are going to go into the pile for next week. So we're going to do another one. So this one is, Dear Leader Kim Jong-un, our village praises your infinite wisdom, a humble offering of blank. So Rachel, what number do you think? 1 through 6?
5.
5. All right. So 5.
I hope Dick gets the same card.
I hope I get the nipples the size of CDs card.
Oh, that was mine right here.
Dick, what do you think? What number?
I'm going to go with 6.
6? All right. So Rachel's card is, Dear Leader Kim Jong-un, our village praises your infinite wisdom with a humble offering of my high school boyfriend.
Yeah.
That plays
like that.
Dick's card is, Dear Leader Kim Jong-un, our village praises your infinite wisdom with a humble offering of Thumb, the king of fingers. So are you guys satisfied with those answers? Or do you
I'm satisfied with mine.
Okay.
I'm definitely satisfied with mine.
All right. So those other 4, they will go in for next week. So, all right, cool. So that is our Ode to Humanity segment. Real quick, let me check this feed and see if Jason has chose a winner yet. So, so Jason says, I choose Dick Dangle. So Tick, the tick on a Segway piloting an attack drone, has officially beaten Abraham Lincoln armed with a sadness ray riding on a battle cat. So Nutty Dangle or Dangle Nutty, whatever you guys want to call yourselves, you guys are this week's champions of super fights.
High five, Tom.
You know, if you just watch that, it looks really bad.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
as it should.
One thing that we're going to get into is a segment we haven't been able to do in a while. And Tom remembers this segment. It's been gone for a while, mainly because he stopped making food. But this week, I signed into Facebook and realized he made food. This is our "What the fuck is that food" segment. I have a friend who I know through wrestling who is handicapped, and he barely has any use of his body, and he makes random food in an air fryer. Ooh. He never puts what it is, and you never know what it is. So what we're going to do, we're going to show it on the screen. You guys are going to try to figure out what it is. You're going to name it, and then tell us whether or not you will eat it. So this one actually has 2 photos. So I'm going to go ahead and get the first photo ready, and we're going to get it up here on the screen, and you're going to tell us what the fuck is this food. So here it is right here. For the first time in a couple of months, what the fuck is that food from Racy Hawkins? So what do you guys think that is?
It's quite impressive that a man can burn a pile of pudding. That's impressive.
So that's the other one. So
it looks like a burnt croissant.
Yeah. Like, I feel like he's burned the one so much it's bleeding ketchup. Like,
yeah,
like it's literally burnt so much that it's bleeding ketchup. Like, this is obviously a croissant right here. Like, that looks like that might be a chicken nugget. Like, I don't know what's going on in the bottom. Maybe an egg.
Maybe egg.
Maybe egg.
This looks like something with an egg, and so I guess he ran out of croissant here. So this is nugget egg.
That's one of those, I forget what they call them. It's almost like a cream puff. But it's got custard in there.
This pile of shit right here, like this looks like something that my dog shit out yesterday.
That's human flesh. That is something from Texas Chainsaw Massacre put in an air fryer and
like a liver.
Yeah. And this is why weed is dangerous.
I think he wanted a better shot of whatever. It really looks like burned cheese whiz. That's what that looks like. It's just completely burned. Maybe he put cheese whiz on here.
I think he just left the wrapper on whatever and put it in the microwave.
Yeah.
All right. So Rachel, if you were to name this dish, what would you name this?
Burning shits.
Burning shits. All right. So you're going to name it burning shits. And would you eat this?
No.
Dick, what about you, man? What would you name this dish, and would you eat it?
Oh, I would name that dish 12-year-old left at home by parents for the weekend, and I wouldn't eat that on a dare.
All right, there we go. So I signed into Facebook the other day, and I saw that he posted that. He posts them online and like all the wrestling community. He's like, what is this? And he never ever puts what it is. And we always just guess. And I started doing it as a segment, and he was making them. And then like it flatlined for like 5 months. So like I was like, oh God, oh geez, like I need to use this on the show because another one had popped up. So what we're going to do real quick, we're going to get into another news article, and then we're probably going to get ready to wrap up momentarily after that news article. So the next one is a man was arrested after allegedly trying to hide a propane tank in his pants at Walmart. So this one is
this man would be named MC Hammer.
It says an Oklahoma man reportedly tried to steal several items from a nearby Walmart, stuffing the stolen goods, including a small propane tank, into his pants. It says an Oklahoma man stole several items from a nearby Walmart, stolen goods, including a small propane tank. According to police, 24-year-old Benjamin Stallings Love Okay, so that's his name. I thought it said Love, but that's his name. Benjamin Stallings. So another assassin name, Benjamin Stallings Love, who killed Abraham Lincoln while he was fighting the tick.
Right.
Tried to steal a knife. Tried to steal a knife, a propane tank regulator, the propane tank, a pack of Hanes t-shirts. He allegedly tried to hide the small propane tank down his pants. So there's a lot to unpack. So he's stealing a knife, a regulator for a propane tank, and the propane tank, and a pack of t-shirts. So I'm guessing he's going to put on a new shirt while trying to do something with the propane tank while he has a knife. I wonder if this guy thought he could take down this Walmart with a knife and a propane tank, because it's weird because, like, I don't know in you guys areas. I know in our area, if you walk into a store with a full propane tank, they drop on the ground like you're about to rob a bank.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole thing. So
as they should.
Empty propane tank? Like, I don't understand. It says he was stopped by security, ultimately placed under arrest, and held in the loss prevention office.
It sounds like he was actually trying to help your friend make a better plate of food. Holy
yeah,
smoke.
it could be, but I'll tell you, it also sounds like it could have been very dangerous for the hitter level down below.
As the officer was ascertaining information, the suspect actually opened the door and was able to get out of the loss prevention office and tried to run through the parking lot. While in the security officer's office, Love managed to escape. Police chased him down and recaptured him. Love was taken into custody on larceny charges and booked into Oklahoma City jail.
Yeah, what if he ran outside the Walmart and that same dog that was drunk driving just whipped up?
Ran him down.
No, he hops in the car because they're working together.
Oh, yeah,
the
dog just drives off. Now,
off.
Here's the propane tank.
Getaway car.
Imagine trying to shove one of those down your pants. Like, I
live with one of those in my face. It's not a big deal.
You're pretty much tit fucking propane tanks at that point. Like, that's what's happened. Like, how are you getting those? Like, that looks like a Sam's Club thing of ketchup. Like, that's the size of ketchup that you get connected together by like a little thing at Sam's Club. Like,
that act is like a Creighton's or a
Can I just say
cradle where they
News
bounce
for high quality photos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Like the
You gotta
security
flip
guard
them
has
upside
like
down and wear them like a thong.
the security guard has a
tits
turn of the
over
century
there.
cell phone.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, how does that work? Like, at that point, like, if those tanks are full, do you try to do? And I don't know if you guys ever seen Freddy versus Jason, but you ever see the scene when Freddy takes his like little like claw and he hits the propane tank and it flies and it hits Jason? Like, I wonder if he tries doing that. Like, he has the knife and he's just like, and the tank just flies and just like he's trying to just knock people out of the fucking way with that tank. Like, and it just goes completely
much like the dog driving story. I would imagine I need more background. I need to know why it was those items that he was stealing. I
bet he wanted the propane tanks. I bet he just wanted the propane tanks. Probably homeless, and he's just trying to make some food. But then he had to
make some barbecue.
Yeah, and then he had to steal the knife because he had nothing to pop that little fucking plastic shit off of the propane tanks. Like, it just got out of control.
I'm thinking 2 weeks ago, shout out to Daisy Taylor. Daisy Taylor was our guest on here. We did a story, and this was actually a local story. Tom, you probably heard this on 98 Rock because that's where I heard about it from. But two women killed their grandmother over using their credit card, and they tried to grill her on the grill to get rid of her.
They didn't try.
And then they started a bonfire to try to get rid of the rest. My mind goes right to that. I'm like, maybe he's going to go home and stab his brother to death for using that faulty controller that recently took down a submersible because it logged them out of Call of Duty. So now he's going to knife his brother to death and then try to grill him on the grill. And by the way, speaking of that whole submersible thing, they wanted the Titanic experience. They got the Titanic experience. And part of me hopes that it was a sea monster of some kind, and they're just covering it up. They're just like, yeah, it was one of those like giant squids, but we're just going to say that it imploded, and we're just going to leave it at that.
Those 5 guys are living on some fucking island somewhere right now. I 100% believe that there was nobody in that thing, and they were just like, see ya.
I feel like that this is like a Bond villain origin story, that like the guy who ran the submersible really like took all their money, had the thing implode, and he just got out with like scuba gear and just retreated to like an island in Bali or some how the fuck he would get in Bali, I don't know, but he just
with a working
swims there
submarine
from wherever he is, and like he's just sitting there counting money going, I can't wait for Bond to come try to get me. Like,
that's a long way around for a billionaire to make almost $1 million. So
look, it's not about the ending, it's about the journey. Okay.
That, speaking of which, all the stuff online, like it truly proves that everybody is going to hell, because the stuff that I have seen this past week online that people have posted, and not to mention Celine Dion's song is now charting in Billboard's top 10 from Titanic since this has happened. So this goes to show how much of a sick society we are, and it's great because I'm here for it, because anything that happens, there's memes, there's videos, people are commenting like all kinds of like crazy. I don't know how many times I've heard the Celine Dion thing saying that they were near, far, and wherever they are in the ocean, and I'm like, oh my,
oh yuck, that's so stupid. What a song. At least they gave it a house mix, and that kind of pepped it up, but it was so bullshit.
I mean, here's my thing, and I don't know about you guys, but if I ever in my life had more money than I could ever imagine in my entire life, I probably never will. I can't even get
on with that attitude.
Yeah, well, see, here's the thing. I don't even want to get on a cruise ship. Like I don't like swimming in the ocean, because there are things that can kill me in the ocean. I'll stick to the pool. Not to mention, will I ever sit there and go, hey, let me go see a fleet that has been under the water for 111 fucking years.
Right.
Like, no, I don't need to. I can fucking put on my VR headset. They have something called Titanic VR. Literally, no bullshit. I watched it when I first got my Oculus, along with copious amounts of VR porn. Titanic VR and copious amounts of VR porn. And they could have just put on a fucking Oculus and paid, what was it, $300 for an Oculus, and got the same experience than going down in that little Campbell's can.
I would say arguably a better experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember a number of years ago, I went to Maui and I was doing just some snorkeling on my own off the coast of the island. And the islands, the land kind of goes and then just drops off. And it's really cool because it's dark and the water is super clear. But when you get out a little bit and you're like, I am a really small fish in this gigantic pond. I'm going right back to the beach.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. Like every time I went to Mexico, they had crystal clear water. And like I was a little bit fine with the water in Mexico, because I was like, I can see what's coming to kill me. Like I know I'm going to die. I'm going to see the barracuda. I'm going to see El Chapo swimming like scuba under the water. Speaking of, last time I was there, one of his houses was right off the beach of the resort we were at. I looked at my wife. I was drunk. I was like, I'm going to that house. And she was like, what? And I'm like, there's got to be money in there. She's like, I'm sure they stripped to clean. I'm like, did they pull up the floorboards? Because there's cash in there somewhere. And there were times when I was at the pool where I would look over towards the direction of the beach where I knew where that house was. And she was like, you're not going over there. And I was like, there's either money or cocaine in that house. I've never done cocaine in my life, but if I find it, I might. So anyways, guys, what we're going to go ahead and get ready to conclude here on the Happy Hour podcast. Rachel and Dick, would you guys be able to hang out for a minute once we conclude here on YouTube Live?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Why
awesome.
not?
So what we're going to go ahead and conclude here on YouTube Live. Again, thank you to Rachel and Dick for coming on. Dick, we'll definitely have you back, man. It's been a blast. You know, we'll definitely do some more collabs in the future. Of course, we're going to be.
And look at my Spotify. Check out my Spotify so you can listen to my music.
Yeah, definitely go to Spotify. Rachel, where can everybody find you and find all of your content?
Well, it's pretty easy, either screaminrachael.com or trexrecords.net. But Spotify, just look up Screamin Rachael and you got all my music right there. so you can tell my story. It's very sordid.
And I always tell my guests, I'm glad Rachel said it the right way. I always tell my guests, when you tell people where to find you, do not give them your address, because then you will get some weird people that will show up at
Well,
your
I've been
house.
having weird people show up at my place. Very weird.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But anyways, what we're going to do, we're going to get ready to conclude. And actually, Dick, where can everybody find you at, man?
You can find me on Twitter at the Dick Dangle, Dangling After Dark, on Instagram. Danglingafterdark.com is the website. If you want to email me, dick@danglingafterdark.com. I'm closing in on 500 episodes in this fall, so get ready for that. The show is expanding. I got some new projects coming out. It's going to be pretty fun.
Nice. Good stuff. Good stuff. And Dick, congratulations on that, man. 500. That's
there, yeah.
I think this is episode 107 for us. We just entered year 4. So, you know, I mean, we double up. Sometimes it happens. We have such a demand for guests. It's crazy. I know we're going to be doing, like, I think in July, we're doing July 5th, July 7th, July 9th. We're going to be live with guests. Of course, you guys saw it. We will be back here right here on YouTube Live this coming Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Leanna Lovings will be returning to the show. The last time she was on, it was herself and Reagan Fox. It was a Team Skeet exclusive. Now it's going to be just Leanna by herself. And then, of course, new date. It was originally supposed to be July 2nd, but now July 5th, Natasha Nice will be returning to join us right here on the show. So make sure you go over to www.hhpod.com. All of our information are there. You can watch all of our live feeds directly from the link on our website, or you can go over to our YouTube. Make sure you click subscribe and buy some of our merchandise. Go over, check out Dick's show. Check out all of Rachel's stuff. Make sure you find Tom Nutty as well. Tom Nutty has a handful of shows coming up. There's actually one, I believe it's July 12th, July 13th, something like that. Yeah,
13th,
actually,
downtown.
the guy, Justin Jones, he reached out. He's like, hey, do you want some comp tickets? So I took them. So Tom, I will see you on July 13th over there. So make sure you find Tom, check out his comedy. Church of Satire is mainly where he's at. Make sure you reach out to those guys. We did a live show there. It was awesome. You know, what's going on with you, Tom, and all that stuff?
I got shows all through July, downtown Baltimore, featuring a few shows, the Church of Satire, and then August, September, I'm going to be all over the place. And then I will be at Skankfest in Vegas at the end of September.
Very nice.
And of course, when Tom's available, and of course, you haven't seen much of him lately, but he's so busy with his comedy thing. And I'm always like, bro, that's your dream. Go for that. Like, whenever he's available, of course, he'll be right here on the show because he's a part of our regular everyday hosts. So with that, we're going to go ahead and conclude here on YouTube Live, and we will see you guys right here on the Happy Hour podcast again this coming Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, right here on YouTube. Peace, everybody.
Dangle on.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and hit stop.